Welcome to the Mouse Bros podcast. Hi, I'm Ryan.
And I'm his brother Randy. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at the Mouse Bros. We'll be releasing new episodes every Friday, so make sure you subscribe to get the latest podcast. If you have any suggestions for upcoming shows or just want to say hi, you can email us at mousecabrospodcast@gmail.com.
If you're planning your next Disney destination or Universal Orlando vacation, you're going to want to reach out to me, Ryan Noppinger, with Capture the Magic Vacations. You can reach me at ryan.noppinger@ctmvagent.com. This is a no-cost-to-you service to use me as your travel agent. I'll make sure you get the best vacation package or deal for your whole family. I can also help make dining reservations and plan fast passes to make planning your Disney vacation less stressful and more magical.
Hope you pack light, because on today's episode we have part 2 of our Tour Around the World series, where we are journeying through the countries at Epcot's World Showcase. On this trip we'll stop in Italy, United States, Japan, and Morocco. We will touch on layout, present conditions, and our thoughts. Just a reminder, we are taking a small break next week, so part 3 of the series will release on the 31st.
Yeah. So, I think I packed light enough, but not too heavy, just on a carry-on, because we are coming back to the United States for a small
stop to where you can change our luggage.
Our luggage. So to start off in Italy, to move, what was the last country before Italy?
Germany.
So to move from Germany to now Italy. So when you first go into Italy, kind of the thing that stands out, at least to me, is this 83-foot bell tower that's an authentic replica to an original in St. Mark's Square, which is awesome. There's so much detail in it, which is just a small kind of fact of all of the other small details in this pavilion. But the angel at the top of the bell tower has a real gold leaf in, I think it's in its hand, that even though guests can't really see it, it's just something that you can really appreciate for it and just know it's there, which is kind of cool. This whole entire pavilion, I guess, kind of also has the romance of Venice that is demonstrated in the Venetian bridges and the gondolas that are even tied to a festive striped barber pole style side of World Showcase Lagoon. There's also a replica of the 14th century pink and white Doge's Palace. Is an authentic right down to the marble-like facade, similar to, or that was used originally when they made it in the 14th century, which is kind of cool. Again, it's all of those small details in it that you might not know, but when you do know, at least after us doing this whole entire series, we'll definitely appreciate the countries even that much more. Also, in the Central Plaza area of this pavilion, you'll find Fontana di Neptuno, a fountain inspired by Bernini's Neptune Fountain. Again, it's like, I feel like it's Italy just cram-packed in like this pavilion, and Disney, and because they did have some of the countries kind of like input and all that, but they both did it so well that they have incorporated basically in all of the countries all of their heritage or present day type things in it, which is really, really awesome. So that's kind of just like the overview of it. As far as attractions, they don't have any, or any movies or anything like that, like some of the other pavilions do. Though they do have entertainment, so I kind of group this one attractions and entertainment because they don't have any attractions. But as far as the entertainment, they have Sergio, just a juggler and mime, who performs an engaging guest in the show as well. It's kind of cool if you've ever seen him. He juggles soccer balls and then has kids like throw the balls into the hoop and stuff like that. He's funny.
Yeah, he's funny.
I will say, it's definitely something to check out. So to move on, it's kind of quick when there's no attractions or anything like that. But to move right on to dining here, Tutti Gusto's wine cellar is designed to look like an Italian wine cellar and features stone walls and floors, rustic wood beams, and brick arches. It offers an appetizer-type menu with 6 selections focusing on small plates with foods from all around Italy, which is really awesome. We have never actually eaten here or, got wine from here in the past, but I think now, because it's kind of, not that it's hidden, I mean, you can see the shop, facade on it, but inside it, looking at pictures and stuff, definitely looks like what I would imagine an Italian wine cellar would look like. Guests here can also select from an extensive drink menu, including more than 200 varieties of Italian wine, which I can't even name 10 wines. So to have 200 is pretty awesome. So to move on from the wine cellar, Via Napoli, one of my favorite restaurants in World Showcase, not that my family would say otherwise, especially...
Well, yeah, we'll talk.
But
do all the dining, and we'll come back to this.
We'll come back. Asterisks. So this is an authentic Italian pizzeria and restaurant where inside it features an open kitchen and prep area where guests can watch their pizzas being made and cooked in one of the massive stone pizza ovens. Which, to give a little background, why I like this restaurant so much, I actually did work not at this restaurant, but I worked at a restaurant that has an open kitchen feeling with a brick oven. So working there and making pizzas is kind of this, looking at this and kind of brings back some memories for me, good or indifferent memories.
No, I mean, like, there's nothing better than like a brick oven pizza, for real. Like the taste is just unbelievable.
It has to be burnt. And you might think burnt pizza is not good, but when it's a brick oven and it's burnt pizza, that's
not like completely burnt, but like a little bit burnt.
Crispy. Oh yeah. Charred. We'll say charred.
Yeah, charred is a better word.
Yeah, charred sounds better. So to move out of Via Napoli, but still kind of it is attached still to Via Napoli, is Pizza El Taglio, which is just a walk-up window building. Again, it's right next to the entrance of Via Napoli, but here they just serve 3 different types of pizza along with alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. So if you're looking for, if you have a taste for pizza still and you don't want the whole sit-down experience, they have the walk-up window, which is a quick service, to say the least.
Absolutely.
But really, it really is more just a walk-up window because all they serve is pizza and drinks, really. So dining. So back to Via Napoli.
You want to do this now? Okay.
Yeah, because we're talking about it.
All right, I like it.
So what are your thoughts on Via Napoli?
So, if you don't know, the Disney doesn't own all of the restaurants in World Showcase.
Correct.
So, that being said, they sometimes don't
offer the same, I guess, service.
Right. They don't offer the same accommodations
Yeah.
for people with certain dietary restrictions. So I have celiac disease, which means I can't eat gluten, which is like wheat. So it's like pizza, pasta, insert another Italian food here.
All the good stuff.
Right. So a lot of times at Disney restaurants, you will get a special menu, a special gluten-free menu. If there's nothing off the menu that you like, the head chef will come out with their own book and kind of talk about some options that they could make you that's gluten-free or dairy-free, depending on what your dietary restriction is. Since it's not Disney-owned, Via Napoli does not have the same accommodations.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the same...
They try. They They
try, but there's no rules or regulations to what they have to do.
Right.
So they don't have any gluten-free pizza. Gluten-free pizza that is that is made in a brick oven is very hard. Not many places do it. To be in it's Disney, but I'm gonna say to be in a amusement park and have gluten-free pizza like that might be hard. Might be a cost that Via Napoli does not want to kind of pay for, which is understandable. So we are now moving on to pasta. They have some gluten-free pasta that they tell me that I can kind of pick, select it. There was like 4 items that I could pick from for gluten-free pasta.
Which, to put into detail, like they have 4 options versus if it's a Disney run owned, you might have like 10, 11 options or something even more custom depending on your allergy.
Absolutely. So they were out of 3 of the pastas. So I had an option of 4, but I had to get 1 because the other 3 couldn't have been made gluten-free. So why our waiter told us that, beyond me. So then we get that, I get my pasta, and they bring bread to the table. And, it's the fresh rolls with you can dip it in like the oil.
The good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff. And obviously I can't eat that. So she asked me if I would like gluten-free bread, to dip. And I was, yeah, absolutely. That would be amazing.
Thinking you're going to get this wonderful spread of bread and it was right behind the regular bread, but
right. So, but 30 minutes goes by. We're
Literally
still
30
waiting.
minutes,
We're still waiting on bread, on the gluten-free bread. Our meals have come.
Yep.
So we were joking that it's taking so long that watch it just be funny that they come back with like sliced gluten-free bread right out of like the freezer or fridge. We were thinking that it's taking so long that they had to freshly make it. But when they brought the bread, I'll be darned if it wasn't gluten-free sliced bread that you would get from your local grocery store.
Yeah.
So Via Napoli is not a bad place to eat. It is very good. It was one of our favorite places for a long time.
Yeah.
The pasta is very good. The pizza, out of this world. If you have a dietary restriction, Via Napoli is not the place to go.
Especially for gluten.
Absolutely. I put that disclaimer kind of out to like World Showcase in general. If you have a very dietary heavy restricted
diet,
then World Showcase might not be the place for you. You might need to actually search for restaurants.
Yeah.
So it's a good restaurant, but not my favorite.
So to move on from dining, we'll move on to shopping. So there's many different little shops offering a broad variety of Italian merchandise. So the first stop, Ibella Cristallo, and again, we'll say again through this entire episode,
entire series,
really. Sorry if we're mispronouncing. We're doing the absolute best we can to do it. Google Translate has
only helped so much.
Been wonderful, but still even can only help it so much. So anyway, back to Bella Cristallo. So here they have beautiful Italian crystal, including Murano glass, jewelry, handbags, clothing, and accessories. This shop also carries fragrances as well, like to think of one off the top of my head, like Prada. So to move on from there, they have La Gemma Elegante, which it says what it is. It basically just gems and things like that. More of the Italian. Here, that stands out here is they have Venetian mask, which are, I'm trying to think of what they would be from, but like they have, what's that? Those like parties that they have with the mask on.
Masquerades.
That's what that's what I was thinking of. Those types of style of mask is what they have here.
Like to put it into Disney context, if you've seen the Haunted Mansion, the movie, at the beginning of the movie, they're all wearing masks on their face, and that kind of covers up who you are so you can be anybody.
Right.
So if you need a reference, do that. Or like Phantom of the Opera is a very big musical. They have a whole song called Masquerade.
So from this shop, another shop that they also have is La Bantiga Italiana, which has cookware, decorative items, Italian foods, and apparel as well. Also, they also have Antica Castello, which is located right next door, that offers Italian wines and spirits. Here, more you can get like full bottles of wine, or maybe a wine, a specialty wine glass, or things like that here as well. Well, that pretty much sums up the Italy.
Do you have any last thoughts?
No, here I'm trying to think of any of the shopping. The Bella Cristallo is kind of like the main building right next to the bell tower that you would go in, and I will warn that once you do walk in, you can smell that they do sell fragrances, because it is very, very perfumey.
It's like
as soon as you walk
Macy's.
in. Yeah, basically, yeah.
I'll just kind of put it at this, that Italy overall is just, it's a very pretty pavilion. It makes you feel like you're in Italy. It's kind of like if you took all of the big spots, like all of the sightseeing spots, and crammed them in, it would be the Italy pavilion.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what they kind of did with all of these countries, is let's put the highlights in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So coming back home, we are in the American pavilion. This kind of marks halfway around the lagoon. If you are standing at the beginning, the Showcase Plaza, which is the two towers, and look straight across, you will see the American pavilion. It's kind of, as you're walking into the showcase, you kind of just have this overview of American Pavilion. So it's kind of like what it leads to. So the American Pavilion is a colonial-style Mason-based off architects from Independence Hall, the Boston's Old State House, Monticello, and Colonial Williamsburg. It took 100,010 bricks to completely build this pavilion. The lobby on the inside of this pavilion is lined with quotations from notable Americans kind of all throughout history. There's also artwork that kind of depicts different stages of development of the United States. Fun fact that even though this building appears to be 2.5 stories tall, it's actually 5 stories tall. They use a lot of forced perspective to make your brain think that it's only 2.5 stories tall. Like the windows up top are smaller. The bell tower is kind of smaller to make it look like it's taller. Or no, it would actually be, they would be larger, because if they're larger, then it doesn't look like it's as far away.
Right. Yeah.
So it would be the complete opposite.
Yes.
They also during this time of these buildings, you would have kind of this like brick line that goes across that kind of marks the floor. Well, they actually put that a little bit higher than where it actually is to, again, use that forced perspective and make you think, oh, well, that's where the floor is, so it makes sense that it's only...
Yeah, and Disney's not new to this. This isn't the first time they did it. Actually, as another fun fact, the only kind of building that is full to size on Main Street is the Town Hall building, and that's only to block out the Contemporary.
Right. Everything else is forced perspective.
Yes, yeah. So they're definitely not new to this, so that's why it looks so darn good.
Right. This is also kind of the peak of World Showcase, in the sense if you had a flat plane for the World Showcase Lagoon, the American Pavilion would actually be at the top of it, because this is the highest point, because it's very, very subtle and you cannot tell at all. But every other pavilion is kind of sloped towards the American Pavilion, sloped up a little bit to help house the American adventure.
As Sam Eagle would say, it's a salute to all nations, but mostly America.
Mostly America. So moving into the attraction, of the American Pavilion, there is actually 2 attractions in there. You could disagree and say that one of them could be entertainment, but one of them is a museum, and it's the Creating Tradition, Innovation, and Change in the American Indian Art. In the lobby, it's kind of to the right. It's a little walk-through museum that displays contemporary Native artist work alongside artifacts that are from centuries past. So it's a really cool place. If it is during peak season and you're waiting for the American Adventure and you don't have anything to do,
it's something to go just check out.
Yeah, I think we always check it out maybe every once in a while.
Yep.
Depending on the entertainment there too, but we'll get into that when we're at entertainment. So the main attraction is the American Adventure. This is a show, audio animatronics, and kind of movies that tell the story of our American adventure. Different scenes that depicts are the Pilgrims arriving at Plymouth Rock, the Boston Tea Party, George Washington at Valley Forge, the writing of the Declaration of Independence, the Civil War, slavery, and the invention of the telephone. These are just a couple. I mean, there's so many other scenes that are throughout this. It's a breathtaking show. If you've never seen it, it makes you proud to be an American.
It's long, but it sums up all of America and its history.
It doesn't. I don't know. I have the exact length, and I do apologize, but it doesn't feel like it's long.
No, and you're more focused. It's not like you're just going into a theater to watch a movie. There's animatronics all throughout, not just at one part. Not just at one part, like, for example, the Hall of Presidents. It's not just, these are all the animatronics and that's it. It is different animatronics at different times along this whole entire show.
And it's not like it's just one animatronic. There are absolutely breathtaking animatronics. When they were doing the writing of the Declaration of Independence, it was a breakthrough to have Benjamin Franklin walk upstairs. Like that never been done because audio animatronics just kind of stand still in their place. So it's just absolutely ridiculous.
And a fun fact too about this show, all the animatronics are on like these miniature stages that are lifted up kind of onto the main stage where the guests can see them. And when the animatronic talks or speaks, the audio is actually coming from that small stage. So there's a speaker hidden on that stage to make it sound like it's actually coming from that person and not just
right.
Surround sound.
Right. So because the reason behind that is that if it was surround sound, the audio and their mouth's movement probably wouldn't have lined up. So it would have been very kind of awkward. But in anything they built, they tried to find a way to hide speakers. Sometimes they couldn't hide them, so Benjamin Franklin, they put the speaker in his body. So it's just incredible.
Yeah, another cool intervention type of thing that the Imagineers have come up with, which is awesome.
There's been some changes, some notable changes. 2001, they added footage from 9/11 into the finale. 2007 had extra 45 seconds added to the Golden Dream. And then recently, 2018, the song and video montage was kind of updated and added some time to the end of it. In the theater, this is kind of important to note because I feel like it's part of the attraction that you can't go into the theater and not see them. There are 12 statues that represent the spirits of America. So the spirit of America for adventure is kind of like a seaman, someone on, I don't know, being adventurous, I guess. Compassion is a doctor. Discovery is a mountain man. There's Freedom, who's a pilgrim. Heritage is a Native American woman, possibly Sacagawea. These weren't really based off specific people, just kind of types of people. Independence is an American revolutionary soldier. Individualism is cowboy. Intervention is an African American scientist. Knowledge is a school teacher. Pioneering is an early aviation pilot. Self-reference is a farmer, and the tomorrow is a mother and child. I mean, these are absolutely breathtaking to look at, and they just add to everything.
Yeah, and you think they're just statues, but when they represent something that then incorporates the whole entire show you're about to watch,
Yeah,
is again that small little detail that not knowing you'll just walk by, but knowing you'll walk by and think, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on to dining, there is no sit down. So they only have kind of like these quick service areas. The biggest quick service would be Liberty Inn, where they serve hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken nuggets, salad, fruit plates, and apple pie. This is directly connected to the American Pavilion, the American Adventure building. There's the Fife and Drum, which serves big turkey legs, hot dogs, and smoothies. Funnel Cake Stand. It's a booth that serves funnel cake. It's a creative name. And then you have the Block and Hans, which is a Mickey and pretzels. Mickey and it serves Mickey, pretzels, and beers.
Wow.
All right. When we always go there, we always get kind of like a sweet treat. So there was this one time that Katie was my fiance wanted funnel cake. So that was her one request for the vacation, that she got funnel cake at some point. So we went to America, the American Pavilion, and the funnel cake stand was there. So we got funnel cake, and there was a show on the stage that was about to begin. So we got one funnel cake, which turned into 2 funnel cakes, which turned into 4 funnel cakes, and then we all just split. I think it was about 5 funnel cakes we all split.
Yeah, probably.
They were good. But,
I know. They add up.
yeah. So moving on to shopping, there is a small gift shop called the Heritage Manor Gifts, which you can get like apparel, accessories, food, and spirits. There's gifts, houseware, pins, toys, and art. They have some t-shirts in there that kind of represent different states. So they're pretty cool if you can find your state and want to get that. For entertainment, there is 3 types of there's 3 different acts, 2 that are kind of always there, and then 1 that's special for this summer. The Voices of Liberty, they perform folk songs in the rotunda of the American Pavilion, and that is kind of what that means is that's on the inside, directly underneath the dome. So in the last episode, Ryan kind of talked about that for the China Pavilion, and it's the same thing here for the American Pavilion. They perform popular songs on Monday and Tuesday on the American Garden Theater, which is directly across from the building. Every other day, they are in the actual American Pavilion. There is the American Music Machine, which they perform Wednesday through Sundays, and they sing contemporary American hits on the American Gardens Theater. And currently, there is the Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Mix Live, which is running from June 14th to August 18th. And this is where Star-Lord and Gamora kind of host a live show and do kind of classic hits with a live band.
Play a lot of 70s, 80s music.
Yeah.
Which is South America, I guess.
But it's just, overall, it's a really cool pavilion, especially the American Adventure.
Yeah, and you can tell too how everything is kind of small. Like the shopping area is small. The quick service isn't like the biggest quick service area either. So just from that, you can definitely tell that the focus is on the main attraction, the American Adventure show,
absolutely.
which it should be.
Yeah, I mean, I think that show is kind of a must-do for your trip.
Yeah, especially for Epcot. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So to move on from America, Japan, which in my opinion is the more picturesque of the countries in World Showcase. When you walk into the country, this pavilion, you'll notice a large red torii gate that welcomes visitors to the pavilion. And actually this was a gift from Japan to kind of the U.S. and Disney, so then that's where they put this, which is kind of awesome. Also, notably in this pavilion is a towering blue-roofed can't say that word.
It's a fine.
pagoda, which is a replica of the 7th century temple. This is surrounded by beautiful gardens, footbridges that cross streams full of water lilies and colorful koi fish. Also, it's a little bit further back, but there is the White Heron Castle, is modeled after a 17th century fortress that overlooks Himeji.
Okay.
In the castle, you'll find a gallery which displays both traditional and modern Japanese art. Again, to move on to attractions and entertainment, I kind of linked it again because attractions, they don't have any attractions, but for entertainment, they have the Matsushira, which is a Japanese, basically traditional Japanese drumming that's performed several times a day, which is very, very awesome to see, and you can absolutely hear it if you're on the opposite side of World Showcase.
So since we're in attractions, there was actually a planned attraction supposed to be in the main building. That's why they built it to have an attraction. The name was like Welcome Home or something, like Welcome Here. It's probably not even that, probably not even close to that. But it was supposed to be kind of like an American Adventure type feel, with the audio animatronics kind of singing and stuff. It was never put into place due to budget cuts, but in I want to say probably Tokyo Disney is where they actually put the attraction in. I think currently the building just sits kind of empty, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I got nothing on that. But yeah, it's just a fun fact that there's supposed to be an attraction. All right.
And I guess to say that a lot of the countries were supposed to get some type of attraction or movie, but just didn't.
Yeah.
But now, currently, it seems like more and more that they are going that way, especially with like Ratatouille moving into Italy.
Absolutely.
No, sorry, France.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Just offended a bunch of people, but it's fine.
Anyway. So to move on from attractions and entertainment, to move on to dining, which there are quite a few. And before I go into them, there's actually a brand new signature table restaurant that's coming to the Japan Pavilion. The new restaurant will get its inspiration from the natural beauty of Japan and will add to the rich balance of authentic culture experiences available to guests in World Showcase. The upcoming restaurant will be operated by the Mitsukushi USA, which operates the merchandise, restaurants, and kiosks that currently exist in the Japan Pavilion. As of now, there's no expected opening date that has been announced yet. And that's kind of interesting to note as well. I'm going to mispronounce it, I'm sure, or pronounce it a different way every time, but the Mitsukushi kind of brand basically runs the whole entire Japan Pavilion, especially the dining and all of the shopping. So to move on to more of the dining that's actually currently there, there's Teppan Edo, which seats guests in kind of an 8 pattern around on a white counter around a large grill where chefs chop, prepare, and cook your meal, which I'm trying to think of the word that they use, like this type of cooking style. It's like oh my gosh, I can't think of it right now.
Okay, we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Hibachi.
Hibachi is exactly what I was trying to say. Yes. So throughout this entire experience, kind of the chef is kind of like the entertainment, which then also enhances the whole dining experience, like tossing shrimp across the table.
Right, and you got to catch it
and
in your mouth.
Yeah. It is to note, if you are a party of less than 8, you'll most likely sit with other guests, which might feel a little bit different, more like a communal table.
Right.
But I think in the past we've had maybe like 5 or even 6, and they just haven't had a party of the remainder
or
two
right.
to fill in. So you might get a table by yourself.
But if you're like a party of like 3 or 4, you're probably going to sit
you're
with
most
somebody.
likely going to sit with another party of 3 or 4.
Absolutely.
So entrees here include, just chicken, beef, seafood, and they also have combinations with crispy vegetables served with tasty sauces, steamed rice, and salad. You can also get sushi as an appetizer here. So to move on from there, there's also Mitsukoshi Tokyo Dining, which is basically it's up the steps of the shop, basically the same entrance that you'd go in for Teppan Edo, but it's traditional Japanese cuisine with a modern presentation and setting. From the moment you walk in, you're greeted by sincere Japanese cast members that you'll find their constant bowing adds to the authenticity of your experience. And to note, actually, bowing is a very important custom in Japan, and it's actually impolite not to return a bow to whoever bows to you. So Japanese greet each other by bowing instead of handshaking, which, just adds to the culture and the richness of this pavilion to me, which is really, really awesome. Yeah. So out of these two, to move on to a quick service, Katsura Grill, which is the quick service restaurant that gives diners the option of eating indoors or outdoors and is also known for its beautiful gardens. The outside of this restaurant is modeled after the strolling gardens of Katsura Imperial Villa in Kyoto, Japan, which is a historic landmark. Katsura Grill serves dishes such as sushi, teriyaki, edamame, udon noodles, and I'm going to butcher this, but okonomiyaki. I believe I actually said that right.
I feel like you didn't still.
Well, anyway, this is just a Japanese, quote, pizza with vegetables and sauce topping a pancake, basically. Also here, you can get Japanese beers, wines, or sake. And actually, the quick service, I actually stumbled upon the last time I was there because you wouldn't notice unless you kind of venture into more of the garden
area,
which is behind the kind of the blue roofed tall
tower
there, yeah, which is cool because you would miss it. Again, you'd miss it. I had no idea it was there until just recently, within the last couple trips.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's really, really awesome. So shopping here is a replica of the coronation and ceremonial halls of Japan's Imperial Palace that is home to the Marikusi department store. This is named for the oldest department store in the world. The original store dates back to almost 3 centuries, which is really, really awesome. Here you'll see everything from Hello Kitty to Tamagotchis to traditional Japanese footwear and clothing. Also inside is the Mikimoto store that showcases a gorgeous selection of pearl jewelry. And then if you're looking for more of that affordable keepsake, you can pick a pearl for just under $20, which we haven't actually done, but you hear it
anytime you go into the store.
Yeah, it's what sticks out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because they get a pearl and then they do the little drums and they very much kind of, just from listening to it, they go through kind of the whole ritual of picking the pearl.
Yeah.
And it's a neat experience. I think that, we won't do it, but
it's fun to watch other people do it.
Yes, yeah. So also here, there are several unique souvenirs available, such as bonsai trees, wind bells, Japanese tea kettles, and calligraphy brushes, which my wife absolutely loves. She messes with them every single time we're in there. If you are looking for more of the traditional souvenir, they carry chopsticks, Japanese lanterns, and fans, and also incense. Also to note, kind of in this same shop, is in the back there is a sake tasting bar, which you can of course sample, and then you can also then purchase your favorite sake along with a sake serving set, which is really, really cool. I've not tried sake, but from what I hear about it, it's very, very strong. So I think I'd be interested taking that challenge.
Yeah, I'd try it
with you next time.
Oh yeah, I would try it.
Yeah,
I would absolutely try it.
That'll be on our bucket list for the next one.
Yeah, I really like going into the shop. The shop has a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, especially a lot of the stuff we kind of grew up with, like Pokemon or
Right,
Dragon
right.
Ball Z.
It has a lot of
and-
like the modern Japan because modern Japan is very technological advanced, right? So it has all of that type of stuff, but like in the back of the store is that more traditional, Japanese souvenir. So it's very cool to go into the shop and just look around.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
pretty much every pavilion. Even if you don't buy something, it's cool to go in and look around.
Yeah, no, I would say, I wouldn't even suggest that. I'm saying you have to go do it. Just go in all of the shops around World Showcase. Yes, it might take you a whole entire day, but you'll see some really, really interesting.
Yeah, you'll see stuff that you've never seen before.
Exactly. Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
Which is the whole point, really, of World Showcase
Yes.
for that.
Yes,
But,
absolutely. All right, so moving to Morocco, which is our final stop of this trip. Standing over Morocco is a reproduction of the Khoun Marriott of Marrakesh. It's a prayer tower of the 12th century, and it was hand carved by native craftsmen, which is awesome. So there's actually more native craftsmen were used in building this entire pavilion than any other World Showcase. Morocco is also the only country in World Showcase where the government was actually involved in the design and construction of this pavilion. So it just goes to show you how much the Moroccan people cared about this pavilion and wanted to be true, wanted to be what Morocco was. A fun fact that due to the color of this pavilion, it actually affects a attraction outside of Epcot.
But you're like, what attraction? It doesn't make sense.
It's the Hollywood Tower of Terror. It is painted that color, so when you look from afar, it looks like the Tower of Terror just blends into Morocco.
And to kind of give a pinpoint of where you can see this, when you enter World Showcase, but more along the side of, like, if you were coming from Test Track and going into the countries, just using those bridges, I can't, like, it used to be called the Odyssey, those buildings
building.
there. Yeah.
I think it's just used for like stuff now.
Yeah, just like for festivals and things like that. So around that building, on those bridges there is kind of where you can look across Morocco to see the Tower of Terror in the background, just to give some reference.
Right. So that's pretty cool that Disney actually thought about that when building and designing everything. That they wanted to make sure that it wasn't an eyesore, fit out of place. So they probably couldn't redo Tower of Terror to Guardians of the Galaxy and design it like they did in Disneyland because it would stick out.
That'd be interesting. What's that pipe over there?
Yeah. So moving on to attraction/entertainment. Again, we're grouping them together because there's no attractions. A lot of these countries don't have attractions. Most of them have movies. So this one doesn't have any.
Or they'll focus on more of the entertainment.
Yeah. So there's only one group together, and it's the Music Armico. That's not how you say that, but all right.
Sounds good to me.
They perform 5 days a week, and they perform traditional and modern Moroccan music blended. You can also meet Aladdin and Jasmine kind of in the marketplace and the bazaar. So moving on to dining, they have this Spice Road table, which focuses on the Mediterranean small plates. They have a wide variety of wine, specialty Mediterranean beer, and signature cocktails are only available here. It is located on the water, so it is a great spot during the day to look out into the lagoon, and also a good spot for fireworks if you're looking for kind of a dinner and a show. Attached to this building is henna tattoos and kind of a juice bar that you can go and get to enjoy with your meal. Their main sit down is Restaurant Marrakesh, which is an experience where you can experience exotic Moroccan food. They have the Balista apps, which is kind of, it's meat and seafood baked in a thin pastry the best thing I could think of is baklava. If you've ever had that, that would kind of be the closest thing. Or like if you took like an egg roll, kind of.
Sure.
All right.
A toaster strudel.
Yeah, toaster strudel. That's with meat and seafood. They also have lamb dishes. They have chicken brochettes, which is basically a kebab. And they also have kebabs there. They also have authentic belly dancers that perform in the center. Because nothing says family friendly like having a belly dancer with your meal. They have the Tangerine Cafe, which is just a counter service, which has specialty salads and desserts. They also have the Moorish Cafe and pastry shop, where you can get light crepes and Moorish pastries, in addition to hot mint tea and specialty coffees. I think I got all of the stores, but the shopping here it's very market. It's a market feel. You know, they really put you into, if you were to go to Morocco and go into like the city or
you almost get lost.
Yeah, but it's
shopping.
It's a good lost.
Right.
It's very cool to actually go and experience these tight corridors and going in shop to shop in the back. So our first one is the Tangier Traders, which has Moroccan fine jewelry, traditional clothing, shoes, camel bone mirrors, and handmade daggers. Some pretty unique stuff. They have the Brass Bazaar, which consists of mosaic fountains, thigh wood. It's probably not how you pronounce that wood. And brass and silver decorative plates and mirrors. They have an outdoor bazaar, which has ceramic tiles, native instruments, and handmade baskets. The Medina Arts, which has the designed ceramic plates, Casablanca carpets, which are hand-knotted carpets and rugs, Souk al-Maghreb, which offers pretty much the same as every other store, and this is across the pathway. So this is on the lagoon side, not the actual pavilion side. They also have the Cuckoo's Pot, which has road water, henna lamps, wind chimes, and a instructional DVD for belly dancing. If you ever wanted to learn, this would be the place to go.
Because YouTube's not a thing.
Yeah, if you eat, you can go to dinner, watch the belly dancer with your meal, and
then
inspired.
Learn. And then learn.
And then go and buy to learn.
Did you say road water?
No, Rose.
I definitely just heard road water.
Okay, well, if I said that, I meant to say rose water. Sorry, sometimes you speak so fast that like your lips and your mind don't work on the same page.
I'll have to play that back now because now I'm funny, and I'm also going to keep this in because I think that's also funny. So yeah, Morocco, and to go back to the dining a little bit, we've never actually eaten at one of these dining locations here. It doesn't really necessarily fit our appetite on what we like. I am actually a very, very picky eater.
I'm not picky.
You're more
so I would absolutely try
here.
A restaurant in here. I think that would be so cool.
Maybe you can do it on your next trip.
Well, not our next trip, but because their next trip is a big family trip. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
And then honeymoon.
Yeah, maybe.
Katie, shout out.
You never know where it leads. Well, anyway, to wrap up this, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review as it helps us improve the show. And as always, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.